Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. This time we'll take a look at the 1997 Toyota Aristo S300. Now, depending on which region of the game you play, this may also be known as the Lexus GS300, which is basically what this is. The Aristo or GS300 is, I think, one of my all-time favourite sedans. I love this car, just the stance of it, the way it looks, the interior is impeccable. I really like these things, and I really would want one. Unfortunately, though, they only come with 4-speed automatics, which isn't good for fuel economy, and you can get a twin-turbo 2J in them, but I'm not the biggest 2J person. This is naturally aspirated. Front-engine rear-wheel drive, 413 horsepower, 1,432 kilos, so it's very hefty. These bigger saloons with not too much power, they haven't done historically very well around this course, so we'll see how this one does. It is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 5 RS, that set a time of a 27.806. The S300 Aristo, it's very weird calling it that, I'm used to just calling it the GS300. That's unlikely to beat that. In terms of where this is going to go, well, it's a tough one. We had the Mercedes E55 AMG come round, and that did incredibly well, but also that had a ridiculous amount of power. This doesn't have that ridiculous amount of power, and it is also a 4-speed automatic, so yeah. We've had the Toyota Altezza AS200, that's at a 32.6, and that's a smaller version of this. So I feel like this is going to be very lucky to get out of the 32s, and also looking at the gear ratios, it's not quite usable enough, really. But we'll see. I'm hoping it does well, because like I say, I like this car a lot, and I want it to do rather well. It should do better than the BMW 740i that we had. That was a very bad vehicle. As much as I love, again, the 7 Series of that model, nice. The 7 Series of that model, that sort of vintage, I like it a lot, but yeah, that car just wasn't very good. The Altezza AS200, a 32.648. I mean, we've had some cars overcome their gearboxes. The Nissan Stagia comes to mind, but that was turbocharged, and that's the big key issue, I think, with these sort of saloon cars with the bad gearboxes. Turbocharging or a lot of torque is really what you need, and this hasn't really got either. It does have to be said. So yeah, I mean, you can see from the lap times already, it's not exactly the best thing to drive. Now, the good news is there is the V300 version of this, which will solve all my issues, but I also think that might rip a hole on this track, because the V300 is one of the very most powerful upgraded cars in the game, because the V300 with the turbos can get over 700 horsepower. So 700 horsepower through a stock 4-speed automatic gearbox, that might be like I say, that's going to be an interesting car to drive. I'm not expecting it to be a quick car to drive, but it'll be good fun. So, more fun than this one is turning out to be. Come on, car. Get one good lap in, that's all you need. All we need to do is just get one good lap. The problem is with this, is it's not just the power delivery, which isn't very good. It's also the weight is a big problem in this car. You can feel the weight of it just shifting around every time you go around the corner. It's not ideal. Come on, 32.728. Where's that going to put it? Slightly slower than the Aristo. I would say this drives better than that Aristo did, but it's just not set up for this track. That's the problem. I do also think I let it down a little bit on that final sector 3. I think he's going to be a lot slower. Yeah, actually, not as much slower as I thought it was, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, it's just not built for this track. That's just it. Unfortunately, it's just not. It's not. So that's the way it happens sometimes. Like I say, it does join the Altezza down there. Although, much like with the Altezza, the silver lining to this cloud is at least the next one's going to have 700 horsepower. Will it be any better? Probably not. But it will have 700 horsepower, which always fixes everything. 32.728 will place this into 154th place. It does beat the BMW 740i, which in my mind is probably the most normal car. That's sort of down the bottom of the leaderboard, so at least it's not the slowest normal car we've had. About a second off of the Altezza. The Altezza the Altezza was a lot quicker. It's just the Altezza had a lot worse of a gearbox, so yeah, I mean, there's not a lot you can really compare it to down this side of the leaderboard. It's just slow, unfortunately. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when hopefully I'll be driving something that has a few more speeds in the box. Until then, farewell.